Do you have any idea who is looking after your children now?
In more than 60 interviews.
Where are they now?
We hear one enduring question. Like thousands of Uyghurs, Muslims from China's western region of Xinjiang, Abdurrahman Toti now lives in Turkey. 3 years ago, his wife Perida took the children on a short trip back home to see the grandparents. He's heard nothing from them since. Then, earlier this year, he found something online.
Balam köyge vaxtıda üzəmni tuturamadım çünkü yıxılab ketdi. Bir adam üzəmnin balısını ben üzəmnin püştüdüğən balını 2 yıl 3 yıldan keyin köysəm. Ben qana olmaqdı.
He's certain it's his son Abdulaziz in an orphanage, speaking not in Uyghur, his mother tongue, but in Chinese.
你叫什么名字啊？几岁了？祖国的名字叫什么？
Aynı Xitaylaştırışmaq istəyir. Özünün əsli yoxdur. Məqsəd şu. Misalən bu bala 2 yıl 3 yıl yan Xitayının quluda.
Abdurrahman's wife has been swept into the vast network of highly secure facilities that China has been building right across Xinjiang. Inside, the Uyghurs, the Kazakhs, and other Muslim groups who have their own distinct languages and culture are being taught to learn Chinese and to love the Communist Party. But now the BBC has new evidence of a systematic attempt to control and influence their children too. Giant new schools, many with huge dormitories, have been springing up almost as fast as the camps. This kindergarten, according to state media, has more than 1,000 children, some as young as 3. This one, another kindergarten, sleeps hundreds. And this is what China calls a protection centre. More than 100 are being built. Together, they'll hold 10,000 children. The authorities seem to want to keep them hidden. We find one street blocked by the police. Reports say there's a school here for 2,000 children of detained parents, but we're not allowed to get any closer. This kindergarten for the children of detainees has barbed wire, cameras, and signs that say only Chinese should be spoken. And we film this giant camp. While the parents are held here, their children are here in a kindergarten built close by.
Can you imagine though? Can you imagine?
Senior officials deny that family separation on such a scale will cause lasting psychological damage.
对，跟孩子来讲，这个也是很正常的。那我们平时工作上班，那一天也见不着孩子，或者说一段时间都见不着孩子，但是并不能带来什么实质性的跟孩子这种影响。
What is happening to those children where extended families have been taken into the camp system?
这不会出现这所有的如果一个家里所有的人都进了教育中心，那这个家里就很严重了，问题很严重了。那这种情况我没有见到过。
But such cases are not hard to find.
Bunlar hemmisi hazır yok.
Kardeşim yok, sınırımın yoldaşı yok, sınırımın oğlu yok, benim oğlum yok. Bizim suçumuz ne?
Do you know where your children are now?
Ballarının neredikenliğine kampıda dedi, Mağunlu kampı dedi o.
Bu bir kız.
In Turkey, a place to where so many Uyghurs have fled, We hear again and again of whole families being targeted back home by the Chinese authorities for almost any expression of Uyghur identity or faith.
Namaz okudum dep tutup aptı anlaganda. Andan 2 yıl boldu. Hiç qanday telefon sizning xabarınız bagı, endi hiç qanday telefon alaqı yo'q bizde. Üzüp etdi alaqını.
Who is looking after the children?
Ballarımı şu yeslide hükümet yığıp algan lager karakterlik ballar yeslisiga yığıp algan.
The 3 children at home, do you know where they are now? Do you know who's looking after them?
Ben desep 2016 30 keldim Türkiye'ye. Ben kelgen vaqtda yo'lishimdan sanasi qarab etdilardi. Hozir aloqa bo'lmaganligini bilmayman neligini.
Your husband was arrested?
15 yillik kesatibdi. Gunoy nima? Turkiyaga chiqibsiz deb.
Amina Wyatt runs a clothes shop, carving out a new life in Turkey. But she's without her stepdaughter.
Ben tuyuksuzmuş şu 12. aylağı deyim 2018 yıl ahırı bir günü ünlü demeden Facebook'tan tuyuksuz bu resmini görüp kaldım kızımınki. Karaplam tunup aldım.
Akida, whose father is in a camp, now appears to be in a boarding school and is seen wearing traditional Chinese costume.
Bu bizden hiçbir kiyim kiş örüp adımızda yok. Yani bu Xitaylarninki kiyim kiş adeti. Eğer o yaxşı görmeyi onu mecburlap bunu kiydirip koyganlar.
If you could send a message to Akida today, what would you tell her?
Onun yaxşı gördü halkını, onun bir Uygur ekanligini, Uygur bolganligini hiç unutmasligini diyen bolattım.
Buried deep on the Chinese internet, there's evidence to suggest there is now a deliberate policy to separate children from their roots.
I have uncovered very detailed evidence of how both students and teachers in these boarding schools, if they fail to speak Chinese to each other, there are severe penalties.
Other documents found by Mr. Zenz mention psychological counselling for the children of parents taken to the camps, and the need to make up for the lack of family love, suggesting China is all too aware of the impact. Since the camps were built, he's found an 82% jump in kindergarten places, and by even more in areas of Xinjiang where Uyghurs are the majority. China's national increase was just 8%.
The Xinjiang government is attempting to gain full control over the young generation, to literally raise a new generation that has been cut off from original roots, from religious beliefs, from cultural knowledge, even from their own language. I believe the evidence really points what we must call cultural genocide.
Tahir, Kaysar, Kausar, Orazcan, ikinci balam Orazcan.
Khalida Akit Kankurza now lives in Kazakhstan. Last year, her family members back in Xinjiang were all taken to the camps, leaving her 14 grandchildren parentless. So she phoned their village official.
Sıvarasam aldı. Nurlubek, benim ballarım kayda? Dep aytıp edim. Sizin ballarınız siyasi okuda dep setdi. Kelinler kayda? Dep aytıp edim. Kelinler siyasi okuda dep aytdı. Hey, benim 14 nemirem kayda? Dep aytıp edim. 14 nemireniz bar koy dep tılpını öşürüp etdi.
Khalida can't look for her family. Anyone returning to Xinjiang is likely to end up in the camps. So we decide to look for her. We find the family home locked and deserted. We call the village official. But he hangs up on us too. Others also give us permission to search for their missing relatives. But we find only signs of a giant vanishing and the shattering of countless families.